All right. So everyone got through the midterm, mostly. I appreciate you all navigating your way through that, yes. But what I'd like to do tonight, um, we're in, well, it's not subqueries, but hold on. Okay, that's better. All right, so section 11 is basically an extra credit section. So basically I'm giving you a week off unless you want to do some extra credit work. But what I like to do first is just ask if there's anyone that would like to review some of the questions in the midterm. So if you want to review any of the questions, just let me know and we'll go through them together. And then, as I said, section 11 is just an extra credit section, and I'll show you what I mean. Basically, there's a, and I'll go to that now, but an extra credit is due at the end of this week. All right. So let me share my Canvas environment with you all to show you what I mean. And once again, if you want to review any of the questions in the midterm, please let me know. Okay, but first, let me go to section 11 and show you what I mean. So it's 10 points extra credit, and basically there's a simple requirement. There's a kind of a slide presentation, and if you take a look at this presentation, within there, there's just a bunch of questions. I think there's 20 of them altogether. And wait, I don't want to show you that. That's the answers. Oh, don't look at that. You're probably going to look back at the recording. Anyway, sorry. So if you look in section 11, it looks like another lecture, but basically there's a bunch of write the query requests. So you look at the query, you look at the results, and you just answer the question. So if you answer 10 of those, and they're all pretty straightforward, you get 10 points extra credit. All right. As I said, there's several of them in here. They're all basically the same. There's no guidance as to how you can do it any way there's several ways to do them. And it does give you some hints, a few of the things that we have not covered, but mostly we've covered all of the DDL, all of the select query, and these are all just select queries. So once again, this is an extra credit section. No lecture tonight. So basically, if you want to get extra credit, answer 10 of these questions. For example, this one, create a list of all tables whose first two characters in the name, or actually I should say it. Oh yeah, a list of all the tables whose first two characters in the name of the table is JO. And there's basically you just need to query the users table. And you all own the table, so you don't have to worry about that second bullet point to get the results. And then now there's create a list that includes the first initial of every employee's first name, a space, and then the last name of the employee. So that's just string manipulation. So anyway, there you go. This is the week for extra credit or taking the week off. There's several prompts in here for querying, and it's your job to select, and basically up to 10 is what I'm saying. If you only want to answer 1 or 2 or whatever, that's the amount of extra credit that you receive. So just submit that in the section 11 submission area, just submit your query. Remember, I need to see the query and the result. So to get the extra credit. Any questions about that? No? All right. Does anyone want to review the questions from the midterm? Any of the questions from the midterm? You're all pretty silent.
For me, it's not a question thing. I think it was just the time was just crunching down so fast, so I didn't have much time to think in the end.
Yes, and that was the thing that I suggested, that 90 minutes does go by relatively quickly. All right, so I'll bring up the midterm, and if I'll go through the questions, and if you want me to stop to review one, so that you make sure I'm reading the all right. So there's a request to review. So let's go to the midterm. And I'm just going to open it up in edit mode. But before I get there, I mean, and then let me check. Let me just check the grades right quick to give you an idea statistically how you all did. Hold on a second. You're probably curious. You had 50 questions, basically 2 points each if you want to use the 100-point scale. Let me bring it up here. Midterm, where are you? Of course, I can't show you what everyone's score was, but I can give you an idea. The average was 76%, which is pretty good. The high was 49, 49, and 49 of the 50 answered correctly. And the low was 36, but there was an individual that did not did not take the midterm, so that brought the average down. So it was over 80% as far as an average. So you should feel pretty good about yourself. I don't think anyone really did poorly, but let's take a look at it. All right, I'm going to start on these questions. So if you want me to stop and review the answers, well, do you all want me to go through all 50? This is all we're going to do this evening. I can do that.
I wouldn't really mind now.
Was that Adam?
I wouldn't mind. Oh, sorry. I wouldn't mind if we went through all of them.
Okay. All right. So question one, basically select statements are used for what? And that's, if you look at the responses, the best answer was to retrieve data. So let's see, where is my, oh, hold on just a second. Oops, did I expand the wrong question? Oh, sorry. All right. So the correct answer is retrieving data from the database. Did anyone have a problem with that? Hold on, I need to record one last attendee. All right. All right. So that's question one. Question two, when you use a select clause to list one or two columns only from a table and no where clause, which SQL capability is used? Yeah, this one was a little probably made you think a little bit. We did talk about this way back, projection and selection. So basically, you're bringing back all of the information from the table, and you're selecting all of. Usually, if you're not using a where clause, just remember the where clause is used for filtering specific data points. So that's the most correct answer, and that was covered way back in section 1. All right. Question 3, in the default order of precedence, which operator would be evaluated first? And this one was so you had division and subtraction and addition, multiplication and division. It's always multiplication, division are evaluated usually the same time, and that was the correct response. Addition and subtraction are always least on the precedence scale. All right. And question number 4. The employees table includes these columns. You want to produce a report that provides the last names, first names, and hire dates of those employees who were hired between March of 2000 and August of 2000. Which statements can you issue to accomplish this task? And of course, I guess I should make sure you can see all of the possible answers. Yeah. So that's the first answer, select last name. First name, hire date for employees where hire dates between August. So that's backwards, right? You got August and then March, so that it won't understand that, right? So that's not correct. The next choice, select last name, first name, hire date for employees group by. No, you don't use a group by there, so that's incorrect. Third choice, select last name, first name, hire date for employees and hire date. No, that's incorrect. Syntax, so that's out. And the correct answer is select last name first. And it's just like the first one, but you have to have the sequence. The between and should be the correct order of the month. So this one is the correct answer. Between 01 March 2000 and 30 August 2000. All right. So far, so good. You're all saying, let's get to the hard ones. Which of the following select statements could return the following data? So we have last name, current job, right? And King and Koklar. And so we had one answer, select last name. So it has to be last name, and is it job ID or? So I think job ID, last name names, that there's something wrong with that syntax, right? So that's not the correct answer. Or is that last name, job ID? That's not the correct column name, is it? So yeah, this is what I want to make a note of. How many of you got this one incorrect? Do you remember? You probably don't remember. But this is question 5. I will give you all a point for this one. Because it shouldn't be named there. Number 5. And what was that in the chat? You didn't even focus on the column name. Yeah, you probably just looked over that, but yeah. The K, the like K, that is correct, but that extra name in there is not correct.
Well, I had to move on from that name one because I thought you was just trying to fool us with the name.
Well, yeah, that was not unintentional, but I chose that as the correct response, but they all have that. So someone copied that incorrect. So that's an extra point for you. So this is another reason why I want to review this. I know there's some things that need to be checked. All right. That's question 5, right? Question 6. You attempt to query the database with this SQL statement, select product ID, product, and we don't even have this. This is from an old a different database. So, but you should understand what the results are going to look like. So product ID, product number is your alias, category ID, category is your alias, price your alias. From products, where category is equal to 5570, order by product number. And looking at the choices, what was the question? This statement fails when executed. Which clause contains a syntax? Okay, so which of the clauses contain a syntax in this? Who wants to guess? Where is the error? What else? Where can we use a alias in a where clause? Who wants to know? So that's where the error is. You can't use an alias in a where clause. That was one of the guidelines way back. So, yep, that's the correct answer. All right. All right. 7, evaluate the following select statements. Select round 35.937. 2, from dual, what value is returned? It's probably going to be 35.94, right? Who agrees with me? Yes, 35.94. Pretty sure you all got that one right. And where are we? All right. Question 8. If hire date has a value of 3 July 2003, then what is the output from this code? Select round, hire date, year from employees. Yeah, these are always a little bit tricky. Is it going to be 0? Well, it's definitely not going to be January, or is it going to be January? No. Is it going to be 01 July 2003? No, you're rounding, right? So we're going to go up to the beginning of the year or the next year. So the correct answer is 01 January 2004, since it's rounding by, rounding by year, right? Year. And it's rounding up since it's past June. So yes, that's the correct answer. All right. Which statement will display employee ID's last name and their manager ID if an employee does not have a manager, it displays no manager? So let's take a look at our choices here. First one, select employee ID last name, manager ID from employees. That's not going to, make that specific display if the employee does not have a manager. So that one's not right. Select employee ID, last name, to-char, manager ID as no manager from employees. Well, you're still not differentiating. You're just creating an alias. All right, that's a possibility. Select employee ID, last name, NVL. Now we're going somewhere. Manager ID, no manager. Well, if we're using an NVL handling nulls, then yes, this will put no manager, but is that syntax correct? Do you all remember NVL? Well, that's close, but the correct answer is that you do have to change it to use a to-char, because the manager ID is not necessarily a one-to-one conversion, and it's not the same data type. So that makes this answer most correct. That's right. Who was that? Yeah, the data type has to be the same for the substitute value. All right. Okay. So you're all saying, oh no, I didn't even think about that. All right, moving on. Examine each of the following statements. Choose the statement that will only display the sum of all employee salaries and the average of all employee salaries. So sum and average. So you're going to use some aggregate functions here. Is it select sum salary, average salary from employees, group by department ID. Group by department ID. Well, that's not going to work because, yeah, why doesn't that work? Why isn't that one not right? We want all employees, right? Right? So I'm going to skip down to the correct answer. And basically, that's all you need. All you need is just the aggregate functions. You don't need a group by, order by, anything to return that result. Does everyone understand that? Sum, salary, average salary. Yep. I just want to make sure. All right. All right, moving on. For which of the following tables will all the values be retrieved even if there is no match in the other? So it's a join. So select last name, department ID name from employees E, left outer join, department D on. So which table will it return all the values? You all remember left is associated with the first table. So I would say the employees. So the first answer is neither. The left outer join limits, no, nothing like that. And so the correct answer is employees, as I just stated. Remember, left is associated with the first table in your select query, which is employees, and right would be departments. Simple association there. All right, moving along. The employees table contains these columns: last name, first name, email. You're writing a select statement to retrieve the names of employees that have an email address. So select last name, concatenate first name, employee name, or employees. Which where clause should you use to complete this statement? This is kind of tricky. So you're writing a select statement to retrieve the names of employees. Oh, that have an e. Yeah. Yeah. So which where clause? Where email is not equal to null? No, we want the ones that have an email address. So, well, why is that not the correct answer? Where email is not equal to null. Maybe this is another one. Yes. So not equal to null. So yes, the correct answer is where email is null. That will return, although wait, if email is null, then the employee does not have an email address. We want to return the names of employees that have an email address. So that should be is not null. Oh, that's what yeah, duh. I was looking at the wrong correct answer. So yes, is not null. This does not work. You always want to use is null or is not null. Duh. So yeah, that is the correct answer. Thanks for straightening me out, Brian. All right. All right. Which would the following SQL statement return? Select count first name from employees. Yeah, we should all know that that's going to return the number of what? The number of rows, the number of non-null first names. So that's the key there. I mean, because we have no other condition. So remember, nulls are never counted with count. So it is the number of non-nulls. Although everyone, I think in our employees table has a first name. So the correct answer is the number of non-null first names. All right. Okay, I'm just reading the chat, trying to keep up with you all. And move this over so I can see it. What is LOOL? Is that laugh outrageously out loud? Or is that a mistake? All right, I'll continue. Okay. All right. All right. Where are we? Did we go over this one? Oh, here we go. Which command, oops. Which command would display the columns and data types of the table addresses? Select from addresses, no. Describe DSC addresses. That describes all the attributes of your table. Column data types, yes. So pretty straightforward there. Inventory table, column, and data. So this is a table. You read that as a table. Evaluate this command. The contents of the inventory table are given at the end of this exam. Oh, okay. Select ID number from inventory where price is in 8.25 and 028. So we know that's going to return inventory that has a price of $8.25 or 0.28. So what's going to be the results of that? I only see ID number 36023 chain Jones 0426. Is that the correct answer? 36023 is the only return because that has a price of 8.25, right? Okay. All right, moving on. Assume that table books contains a column called pub date. It's a date file that contains a published date. Which of the following SQL statements will return to books published after March 20, 1998? And we have select start from books where update is greater than 3/20/1998. All right. Now, why is that not correct? Oh, there's a specific reason, syntax error. All right. So it has to be enclosed in single quotes. Select start from books where pub date is greater than. So why is that one not correct? So well, it's the specific date format. Remember the default is day, month, year in single quotes. Although I will tell you that your system will recognize that, even if it's not, it'll interpret that. You should try, well, some of them do. I think this one does as well. But it is day, month, year as far as the format. It's a 2-digit day, three-letter month, and 4-digit year. So that's why that's correct. All right. What function would you use in a select statement to display a date in the format listed below? So what function would you use to display the date like that? What do you think? Is that toChar, toNum, toDate? Well, we all know it's toChar because you can specify, the full month, the 2-digit date, etc. So it's definitely toChar. ToDate does something a little bit different. So that one can be a little confusing. All right, you query the database with this command, select ID number quantity plus 200 divided by, you have some calculations there from inventory. Which expression is evaluated first? Which expression is evaluated first? I would say the 200 divided by 0.25, right? Am I correct? Yes. Remember, division is always evaluated and multiplication is always evaluated first. They're highest on the precedent as far as the four major calculations: plus, minus, addition, or plus, addition, or addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. All right, moving right along. What is the purpose of the length character function? I know you all know this. Gives you the length of your string, right? No, where am I? Length character function. So one answer is to insert a capital letter. No, we know that's not right. To return a specific substring from the string. No. It is used to return the number of characters or the length of the string. So that's correct. That's what length does. All right. Examine the department table or DEPT table. The description is, if you do a DESC, department number, not null. Your primary key, DName is a varchar, string, location is a string. And then this is the content of the department table. Which value is displayed if you query the database with the following command? Select count from department where DName, yeah, like %s. So what would be the return? I think it's going to be what, 1? Well, let's look at that query again. Where is it? Like %s. Oh, department name. Yeah, accounting, research, sales, operation. So I would say 2. Yep, sales and operation. So there you go, 2. All right. Does the following select statement return an error? If so, why? Select description, product, manufacturing ID, from inventory, order by product, or description like. Why would that return an error? There's something very obvious. Who wants to answer that before we look at the correct answer? What's wrong with the? Yes, the order by has to always occur after the where. So, yep. And that's what it says. Order by must come after the where. Yep. Good job. Who was that? Adam. All right. Where are we? Did we get this one already? Oh, yeah. You're concatenating information from 2 columns in a query. Which of the following choices best identifies the special character required? Well, basically looking at concatenation. So it's the 2 pipes. And that's the character above the backward slash on your keyboard. They're called pipes. That's concatenation, the concatenation command. All right. All right, the output from table called plays with 2 columns, play name and author is shown below. Which of the following SQL statements produced it? Great plays. So this is the output. Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare. So play name and play. So you want to look at queries to see what produced that output. All right, I'm just going to go right to the correct answer. And as you see that output, we only have one column here, right? So there's a concatenation. So the correct query is select play name, concatenate with author with an alias great plays from plays. That's what we have here. All right. Okay. Keep clicking these and all right. Which set operator does not remove duplicate rows from the output? So which set operator? Union all, intersect, minus. Which one does not? That's the union all. That should be relatively intuitive since that just puts everything together, does not remove. So that's your set operator that does that. Which of the following select statements will return all of the employees who have a name that starts with T? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're all are familiar with the like. So that select star from employees where name, that should just say name. I don't think it's, well, it says e-name, but that's all right. I don't think any of the other choices. Oh, they all say e-name. Maybe well, I didn't make this test, but you know that that's the correct answer. Like, and then the T is at the beginning and then the percents afterwards. That's the key there. Right. Any questions or comments thus far? You're all pretty quiet. Okay, I'll keep going. Which of the following select statements will return the name and commission of each employee if they have no value for commission? If they have no value for commission, will return the string no commission. This is another one of those handling nulls, right? So it's an NVL. You have to do NVL to char, talking and data type. So this is very similar to the other one. To char commission, and then you're just going to replace the nulls with no commission. But once again, the data types must match. All right, so what is wrong in the following select statement? Select e-name, job, salary times 12, yearly income, from employees. So what's wrong with that? I don't remember going through this one. Yearly income, since this is going to be an alias, although that's a very tricky question. Yeah, you're assuming that that's an alias, so that has to be in double quotes, right? Yep. Yearly income needs to be in quotes because all of that is followed by a comma. And so the assumption there is that yes, yearly income is the alias. You're aliasing the column name. All right. Which refers to a fixed length character data where n represents the max length of the column. Ooh, interesting question. Which refers to fixed length character data where n represents the max length of the column. Yeah. So yeah, that one's kind of tricky because you could choose either char is character data, varchar is, what's known as variable character, could be anything, but yeah, that's kind of tricky, that one. But if you look at data types, if you're looking at something like this, then, well, yeah, I'll admit that one, I'll have to take a look at that one closely. Yeah, I'm assuming that a lot of you looked at that and said, well, it could be either of those, and that's actually a valid statement, but I'll take a look at that. I may give you all a half point for that one. If you missed it, only if you missed it. Oops. All right, continuing. Okay, which of the following select statements will list the employee name department number, department name, department location of any employees who have an N in their last name. All right. So you want all of those. And let's take a look at the correct answer. And yes, this was going to be a join because we know that employees and departments are different. So here we're just doing a regular join. Select name, department name, location from employee, and we have aliases for our tables. Join department on department ID equal department ID, and ename is like, and then basically has in their name anywhere. So that would be the correct answer. And let's just look at one incorrect answer. Yeah, let's see. Oh, the E has to go after, the alias has to go after the table name. That's why that one's wrong. And the alias has to go before the, yeah, so those are kind of obvious. All right. Which of the following will display the number of distinct department numbers in the employee table? Well, you're going to use the term distinct, select distinct count. Oh, we want the number of distinct departments. That's the key here. Distinct department numbers. Wait, the number of distinct department numbers. That's that's a very tricky worded question. Numbers of distinct department numbers. So yeah, so use count and distinct. So count distinct. That's the correct answer from that one. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Yeah. Count distinct department numbers, not employee numbers. But yes. And it would be count distinct because you want to, you're wanting to differentiate the different, if there's any duplicate departments. So your distinct has to be on the department column. That's why. That's the correct answer. Can't be known. Always known in SQL. All right, let's continue. Which of the following will the following statement return one row? Select max salary, min salary, average salary. Who says yes? Will that return one row? Yes. I'm getting a chime in at yes, like a true false question. And yes, it will return. Yes, it will return the highest salary. Yeah, the lowest salary and the average salary, all one row. Yes, that is correct. Good job. All right. Which statement about the logical operators is true? Let's see what we got here. All right. The order of operator precedent is and or not. No. The order of operator precedent is not and yeah, or yes, the key here is that in your notes, you see that or is always last on the order of precedence. So that is the correct answer. And that's right from the study guide too. And not is always first. So those, I mean, you have to kind of remember those because the order of precedence is always a kind of a bear. All right, so evaluate the function mod 25(2). Which value is returned? So it's a modulus. So yes, the remainders, if you ever see mod, that's always talking about the remainder as far as divisibility. So yes, that goes into 2 goes into 25, 12 times, and there's one, yeah, one remainder. So yes, 1 is the correct answer. quick math. All right. Which of the following sequence statements is valid, assuming that the table divisions exist with department name and manager ID? So let's take a look at what we got. Yeah, as you notice, most of the midterm is like this. You had to evaluate a query, determine either whether it's correct, and then you have to kind of envision the results. I may think about allowing future classes to, use some type of development environment. So most of this, after a while, I know most of this, you're like, I don't remember if this, and you don't really have a lot of time to evaluate some of these without a development environment. So the correct answer is this one, not that one. Select department name from divisions where manager ID is null. So based on this criteria. Yeah, I can see where this, after a while, it does get a little bit harder to get through these. So I don't know, I'm going to take a look at the final, and it's very similar, so I'll try and take care of you all. Which statement will return a listing return a listing of last name, salaries, and a rating of low, medium, good, or excellent, depending upon the salary value. So once again, you have to look through the queries. And this one uses a case. When salary, remember, we went through case and when. So you just basically have to read through these and determine which one is correct. Case when salary is less than 5. Yeah. Yeah, these are a lot harder and they take a lot more time because you really have to break it down based on the question and what you're looking for the responses. Yeah, and in this question, it is hard unless you really take the time to evaluate these. And some of them have some subtle errors. And I know at this, by the time you get to this question, your eyes are boggling. And yes, I agree. Some of the responses may even look the same. Yeah, this one I'm going to rethink this one. It's at the end of the midterm after 40 plus questions, and you don't even see the differences. Yes, I agree, Adam. After you read it and then you reread it and then it still doesn't click. So I don't normally like questions like this where you're looking at it and unless it clicks right away, then you're just rereading the same thing over and over. So yeah, I do agree. This one was kind of, yeah, unnerving. All right, the following statement returns 0, true or false. Select 121 divided by null from dual. Is that going to return a 0? You all should have got this one right. If you didn't get this one right, then yeah, remember you can't use null in any type of calculation. It's unanswered because null is undefined. So yeah, that's false. All right, down to the last 3, I think. Yep. Okay, which select statement will return the last name and hire date of an employee and his or her manager for employees that start in the company before they're managers? Oh boy. Yeah, I know I put these at the end because you're like, I don't believe it. So then you're just guessing, right? Admit to it. You're like, I'm not going to try and figure this out. So looking through the queries, and basically you have to read all the queries and try and determine. But there's some that are, I think this was the one where, no, yeah, once again, the answers look very similar. And you probably, yeah, yeah, but this hire date, W hire date is less than M hire date. And this is, I think this is a employees M word. Oh, it was an implicit join, self join. So yeah, that one probably drove you all crazy. Yeah, and at this time you're like, oh, best guess. I can understand that approach to a question like that. Because once again, the answers are very similar. Yeah, I apologize. Putting these at the end. Yeah, you get to the last couple questions and you're mentally exhausted probably. So I agree. And yeah, this one is the same. You need to provide a list of first and last names of all employees who work in the sales department who earn a bonus and had sales over 50,000. And actually, this is pretty common um, with managers when they want these reports yesterday. They'll send you an email, have something like this, and you have to produce it, give them a response within half an hour. So the company president will like sales listed starting with the highest. Yeah, things like this. Yeah. So I apologize for this. I think that I'm going to change this because these are tedious. Um, and to try and read through these without having a way to test your responses is very hard. So yeah, I'm making a note of this. These should not be at the last, maybe in the middle somewhere. And then the last question, examine the data in the payment table, payment ID, customer ID, payment date, payment type, payment amount. You need to determine the average payment amount made by each customer in January, February, and March of 2003. Which select statement should you use? Yeah, that's a terrible question to end with, right? Because by this time you're like, oh, can we be finished already? Um, so yes, if you look at the correct answer, select some payment amount from payment where payment date is between, yeah, that's relatively straightforward, but based on this request, um, yeah. All right, so there you go. That's our midterm review. Yeah, I know that was now that I can see that was probably pretty tedious. Um, but I have to say, I mean, you all did pretty well. As I said, the average was about 80%. Um, so no one did terribly bad. One person did not take it, and there are no makeup for the midterm or final. So I would recommend doing the extra credit if you need to. So then that reminds me, oh, any comments, any other, I see quite a few in the chat. Any other comments about the midterm? I promise that I'm going to review the final before I administer it. I'll take all those tedious questions out of the end. But yes. Well, it wasn't devious. It was just I wanted you to continue to think. Uh, can we review the questions in Canvas? Which questions are those, Mo? What are you referring to? The oh no, I can't do that. That would have to be a one-on-one. Um, not for the whole class. So if you wanted to set up a one-on-one like in office hours, I can do that for you. And just let me know. All I can do is review the questions without pinpointing any particular student's answers. So, but you do get an extra point for that one question, and maybe a point and a half. And I will evaluate those student by student, and you'll see an updated score sometime this week, probably possibly tomorrow. So, all right. So as I said, that's all I have for this evening. Remember, this week is just extra credit week. You really don't have anything else due. So take a little bit of a break, if you like. Take a break from querying, although don't take too long of a break because you'll forget everything. And we're going to go into, you know, data updating, doing some DMLs. So thank you all. Thank you all for coming this evening. You all got through the midterm, so pat yourself on the back and say you did as best you could. And then we'll move on to our next section, section 12 next week. And which means we're really coming to the end. So you can all feel comfortable that you made it through SQL. All right. Okay.
Thank
Everyone
you.
take care. I will see you all next week. Thanks for coming to class. Bye.
Thanks, Professor.